Can you survive finding a rental in Ontario? And I'm talking about the cities like Toronto, Brampton, Mississauga, Ottawa, London. Wherever it may be, the rental market is absolutely crazy. And in this video, I'm going to teach you not only how you can survive navigating this crazy market, but making sure you keep your best interests in mind all the time. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel soldbynatemapp. My name's Nate and I'm a real estate agent in Ontario, and on this channel you'll see videos like PSAs, recommendations, and even tips on how you can protect your best interests and how you can be equipped with the knowledge you need to know when you're looking for a place. For all you landlords out there looking for a video on how you can navigate this crazy rental market, just check out my channel and you'll be able to find one for you. So let's start talking about where you should be looking for your rental. And I get it. Facebook is a great place to go to buy and sell and to rent and do all these things. But Facebook may not always be the best place to go to find a lease, and I'll tell you why. Most of the time, landlords are posting on Facebook Marketplace to rent their basements or to rent their homes. And some landlords these days don't really know the requirements of rentals, whether it be forms that they're missing, whether it be certain pieces of the agreement, whether it be certain verbiage in the agreements. It's always a good idea to make sure there's a real estate agent involved in your transactions as they relate to leases, even if you want to buy and sell. Real estate agents can make sure that the documentation is all there, that you know what you need to continue with a successful lease, and to make sure that whenever you are leasing a home, it's legal. What I would recommend is you go to realtor.ca. Realtor.ca is a listing searching system, and essentially you can find anything from residential to commercial leases and purchases, obviously, but you can also filter out the amount of beds, the amount of baths, location. It comes with many options, and this is really the best place to go to find a lease. Again, realtor.ca. I'll just put it in my description below. This is the best place to find a rental. It always involves a real estate agent, and as a real estate agent, we always make sure all of the forms are included, and that includes the Ontario Standard Lease Form, which I'll be talking about a little bit later on in this video. The next point I'd like to make is understanding your lease. Let's talk about that piece of paper that we all skim over, which is the lease agreement. If your landlord is going through the correct process and you're looking at the Ontario Standard Lease Agreement, this form will show you everything you need to know about your rental. It'll show you how long it's going to be. It'll show you what rental items are included. So if you're renting a bigger space, it would include, if you're renting the hot water heater, or if the hot water heater rental is shared. This document right here is the most important thing. When you're finalizing your lease with your landlord, you have to make sure that this document is included. It protects you, it protects the landlord for any confusion that may come from a lease. If you're going through a real estate agent, then all of the forms that you'll be signing with that real estate agent will be explained to you in that time. However, I will be coming out with a video in the future on understanding each and every form that you are signing with the real estate agent. This includes the Ontario Standard Lease Form when that time comes. So, you went to realtor.ca, you found a lease. You got a real estate agent involved and you signed all the forms and you've gone through everything. Now, you're going to go move into the place. Make sure you document the condition of your unit prior to you moving in. That includes taking pictures of the appliances, the serial numbers, damages to the unit, to the walls, scratches in the doors. Make sure you turn on and off the faucets. Make sure your hot water is running. Make sure your drains are draining. Make sure your toilet's flushing. Make sure everything works the way it should. Make sure this is all documented on a video and in pictures, and make sure you share this with the landlord so that they know and you know of any problems before moving in, so that when the time comes to move out, you can either take ownership of something or you can talk about how it wasn't working when you got there. This is a very important part of moving into your house, and this is your responsibility as a tenant to make sure that you've covered your bases. The next part is knowing your rights as a tenant in Ontario. And in Ontario, it has its own set of rules and regulations as they relate to tenants. And this is all summarized in the Ontario Residential Tenancies Act. This has all of the requirements for both the landlord and the tenant, and it's your job to know your rights as a tenant, but also your responsibilities as a tenant. Take some time to familiarize yourself with this legislation and understand your rights that empowers you to advocate for yourself, because at the end of the day, knowledge is the best defense. I will go over the Residential Tenancies Act in another video later on, and I'll outline all of your responsibilities, but also all of your rights as a tenant. Next up, communication with your landlord. So, you've moved in, everything is okay, and you encounter an issue. Well, you got to reach out to your landlord. Communication is the glue that holds a landlord and tenant relationship together. Make it a habit to update your landlord of any issues or any concerns promptly, and make sure you keep a record, because keeping record of communication is essential. It not only helps about resolving issues, but it builds trust between you and your landlord. A healthy relationship makes for a healthy home, so make sure you reach out, introduce yourself, have some conversations, and make sure that if anything comes up, you're notifying them promptly. Common issues and solutions. So let's talk about some common issues that you might come up with when you're renting a unit. Something needs fixing, something needs maintaining. Make sure you notify your landlord right away in writing that something is wrong, and don't be afraid to follow up. It's your responsibility to make sure that your landlord knows if something breaks down, and it's your landlord's responsibility to make sure it gets fixed. To wrap things up, being a good tenant in Ontario means knowing where to look, what to expect, what forms to sign, what forms you need. You make sure you're documenting your space correctly, and you make sure you're in constant communication with your landlord when things happen. Make sure you're following up at a decent time. Make sure that you are fully in the know as to what's happening and in your lease agreement as well. Staying informed and staying proactive is setting yourself up for a positive rental experience. And remember, your home is your sanctuary. Make sure it stays that way. Thanks for joining me today on soldbynatemapp. If you found any of these tips helpful, please subscribe to my channel, as I have much more content coming out. And if you have encountered any rental issues, please leave a comment below. Tell me what you've experienced so far in your crazy journey in finding a rental, and tell me what you've done to resolve them. If you need any tips, if you need any help, if you're looking for a rental place in Ontario, please find all my socials below. I'm at soldbynatemapp on everything: Instagram, YouTube, and Google. Your journey as a renter should be smooth and enjoyable. And until next time, happy renting.